It's
Oh,
preparing.
here we are. Awesome. It's been sent to Facebook and we'll go live in a minute. All right. Okay. So we're going to be joining in a minute as soon as. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Empowerment Moment with Dr. G. I am so happy that you're here with me tonight. How was your Thanksgiving, everyone? So I want you to think for a minute. We're live and in action. Okay, welcome everyone. My name is yours truly, Dr. G, and you're here with me for Empowerment Moment. I just want to say thank you because it's a Thanksgiving week. Give thanks, right? So I'm going backwards. Giving thanks, Thanksgiving. I want to say thank you for being part of my family. Thank you. I will say this, and let me see if I can spotlight myself so I am not all over the place. Ah, let me pin myself for here. Yes, there I am. So I am so grateful for almost the end of the month, and we have one more month before 2024 ends, and then we're into 2025. How the heck did we get through halfway in the decade already? So I am excited because I am just coming off the tail off of obviously yesterday was Thanksgiving Day. We moved our meeting, usually it's the last Thursday of the month, moved it to Friday because obviously we wanted to make spending time with family the thing to do, and then still honor the commitment to come on here and share. So I want to welcome my Lenny and Deronke, who are always here. Thank you for being in the Zoom room with me. And then I have one of my program assistant, Nife, here too. So thank you. So I'm going to throw it out there. How was your Thanksgiving? What did you give thanks for? I gave thanks for an incredible year. Some challenges that I we had from a health standpoint, but each of my family members are absolutely fine. So I'm so grateful for that, Nicholas included. And yet we made it through. So I'm just so grateful to God for that. What were you thankful for, Mylene, yesterday? She's joining me while driving. So
I don't recommend it. Oh,
what were
you
you?
know what? I had a very hard time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go
Uh,
for it.
I had a really hard time being thankful yesterday because I had to work all day. And I was grumpy all day because I wasn't making the turkey. And I all I could think is like, how most people's turkeys are hard and tasteless and dry. Like it was so hard, but then at the same time, all I could be thankful was for having a job. So it yeah, like maybe next year ask me, but it was difficult, you
But
know? Sometimes it's like difficult to be thankful.
I'm glad that you made a last comment because you're glad that you had a job and you're thankful that you
Yeah.
have a job. And I think because I'm in healthcare, thankfully I didn't have to work. But there are patients who are on the other side and the people who have to work, right? So they have to do their Thanksgiving a different day. So yes, I hear you. But how I always see the glass as half full. So no matter what you do, it's gonna be that, right? And so to your point, maybe next year you actually
Yeah.
have the day itself to make your turkey and spend 4 hours like I did. Well, I didn't do it. Senna did it. I was gonna say babysitting, but turkey sitting the turkey in the oven and keep basting it, right? So I'm glad that you are at least you are at a place of work. No, sitting with that bird for 4 hours at least to make sure it comes out good and tasty, right? So that's good. Hey
Yeah.
Pat, welcome to Empowerment Moment.
Good evening, everyone.
How was your Giving Thanks Day? I'm not saying Thanksgiving. I'm saying Giving Thanks Day because we give thanks for life and
Um,
How was
Uh,
yours?
it was okay. It was just my younger sibling and I. Cause my mother traveled now since she retired, so she's like travel all over the world now. So she's on vacation. So it was
Okay.
just me, my younger sibling, and Michael. We were just sitting. My sister made the turkey.
Okay.
I made the jollof rice, spaghetti.
Oh.
Michael made what did you make? Biscuits.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I was thankful because my sister, she's a little bit, up there. So my mom was so scared that we might
But
clash.
but
Yes, because she's not gonna be there to be the referee. But I was thankful that it was peace. There
there
was
was
no
sweet.
no back and forth.
That's
We just said
wonderful.
yes. I was thankful that what you because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try my best. Because my mom was saying, oh, don't have because I'm not gonna be around to get involved. Just go somewhere. If you have to go to your friend, just I said, I'll be the others, I'll be nice. So I was able to
You were able to
like,
be the wonderful sister, and
sister,
you guys showed a great example for the young
yes,
ones that were
for the
watching.
young one. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
That
you.
makes God proud. So that's something we give thanks for.
Yes,
The ability to have dinner when normally you're like, I can't wait for this dinner to be over.
exactly. Our mom is not there to separate us.
But
Yes.
she was there. She'll be very proud of you guys
Oh
for
yes,
the
yes.
dinner. Also,
Yes.
also, Aderonke, how was your giving thanks night or day?
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I can't come on camera.
That's
I'm trying
fine.
to do some stuff. So, um, Thanksgiving was great. We decided to visit our church, one of our church family, so that we can get together with other families, which I know will be coming over. It was fun. The kids had fun. We came back late last night, almost 10 p.m. We just came back and went to bed. So I think I'm thankful for my family, my children, for my husband, Alpha. We've come this year um, for the good times, the bad times. Yeah, and that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that opportunity to go out. We had a very quiet evening too. It was just us, our family. I think we haven't done that in a couple of years. So with no guests and all that good stuff. So sometimes you just have to do that too. You can have it big, you can have it small, you can visit, you can chill, you can have it in different ways. But I'm giving thanks too because we're just 2 weeks away or 2 weeks from the gala. We had our Sweet 16 gala 2 weeks ago, and a couple of you guys were there. So I want you to share what was the experience like for you. Mylene, you and I were just talking a few minutes before we came on live. You want to kind of share a little bit how you felt and what it felt like?
Yeah, so it was so different because I've been going to the gala for I think 12, no, 13 years, right?
Wow.
I just missed a little beginning, right? And it was always me going by myself and having a night for myself and celebrating my accomplishments or my daughter's accomplishments really and just I don't know, it was like such a good night. And it was the first time I took my daughter to the gala this year. And she's 16, the gala is 16.
Oh,
Right? And yeah, same age. Um, it was so good to see her there and
um,
talking to everybody. She was so open and receptive, and the guy said, like, let's go dance. She's like, no, because she wanted to talk to everybody, at the table
um,
and ask them questions, asked about their life,
wow.
like, how's your job doing and everything. It was so good to see, and it made me reflect on all the accomplishments that she has made
Mm,
since that time, because she was severely, severely autistic. So I never imagined her being, so far ahead, You know,
Wow.
I just like, of course, I hoped for and, always held on to, but she surpassed what I
Wow.
thought that she could accomplish, or that was thinking about. And I was talking to, I was mentioning Genevieve because she's had social skills training. She's better at socializing than I am. She's better at small talk than I am, but it was really great to see that.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, who'd have thought? I always say when I do an event, even if it makes it different for one person, it is so worth it. And so for me to hear that it's almost her Sweet 16 party, right? Because the room was beautifully decorated. There was music, there was great food, that you could take pictures, and it was all of that and some. And so I'm so happy to hear that she had a great time. That's what we hope for, and hopefully she'll be there next year. So, I get excited about this. These are usually the motivation for me to plan another event. You're always thinking, how is it going to turn out? What was going to be the entertainment? Are the people going to have a good time? These are all things that I think about. But from what you're saying, it is wonderful to hear that Sweet 16 and she was socializing and doing better than you were. So I'm glad. I think there was somebody that I was talking to that said she was talking to her at your table. So I have to go back and see who else was sitting at your table. So I'm so happy to
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah. There's also the thing about, she has autism. She understands about autism as much as she can understand, right? The school setting, everything, but to see an event like that where autism is celebrated, where it's, talked about, where it's like a different perspective than what she has known, so far is also very good, because she can see other stories. And I showed her all the recipients that got the awards, and she was like, me and her started crying about it because like,
Oh.
oh my God, look at all these families that are being helped. The same
Mm.
way that Michael has helped me, look at so many people. And I say, look, it's all throughout the United States, it's not just here, but look how amazing it is, this whole thing. So, and I'm like start to tear up again because like the impact is so great, and for her to also have that perspective like it was. So I took even the book home. But it was like so many good things about it. But me and her, we were like crying in gratitude
Oh.
about how many families have just that year helped. And I told her, and I told the table in the beginning it was like one family, and then went to two families, and then three families, and then four, and it just keeps like growing and growing and growing. And I didn't even know it was that many people. I didn't count, but it was like 2 page. It was like 3 pages worth of
People.
stories worth of people who have been blessed by my
Yeah.
goal. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. So thank you, Genevieve.
Well, thank you for sharing that. It's actually interesting. This is the first year that we didn't have any books left over, that people actually took them home, because in the booklet, and I'll come to you guys, Pat and Ranke, for a minute, we listed all the families we've helped, and over 200 families have received grants, not even including all the activities that we do. And because we just started to kind of reflect that these are lives, these are people. So I'm so happy to hear them. Beatrice is reflecting back, and it's so powerful. That should just, which is what we were talking about. The theme was excellence and neurodiversity. And that just goes to show you that we are all gifted in so many ways. And to hear her story, she's already giving me ideas. We'll talk offline. That's what I love. That's awesome. That's awesome. Adoranke and Pat, you guys were also there. I was add you on. How was the gala for you?
For me, I would say that there are major highlights. We had fun with the fact that I can bring Daniel on. He's always looking forward to coming. Once I tell him my goal, he knows where we're going. And I think the lady from UK,
Yeah.
with the one who came with the two sons, it's really, really, how do I say it? It's
Inspiring.
really encouraging, yes, to see her share her story and to see her son sit right there sitting very calm, try to, I think he played the keyboard. Was that a keyboard?
You did.
Yeah, that was really great. And also our very own Michael Jackson group team, always on point. And also, I think the fact that even the grant too, I went through the book and I was like, wow, these families are blessed, and this is something that would change, their life for better, because I know it's not the grant is not something that most people do have access to, but to see the smile on their faces, to read through their stories, it's really, really encouraging. And I want to say thank you. And I'm looking forward to next year. We're all coming by God's grace. Every one of us. I already said that all five of us will be there, by God's grace. And you look amazing, by the way. That night was really good. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for
Awesome.
having us there.
What about you, Pat? How was the event for you?
Well, the event for me was okay. I was able to come in earlier than usual because I usually come in late, rushing and looking around. Yes. And Michael was even happy to come because as long as because he always asked me what I would do. Just like they were just asking me what are we doing for tomorrow. Like want to know ahead. Like as soon as the weekend comes over, Mama, what are we doing? I said we're going to Gala. I said, Auntie Genevieve. We go over there, the one we dress up and say, oh, okay. Am I gonna have my food? I said, don't worry, you only have your food. That one. Yes, I'm talking about he's looking at me. And just like Ronke said, the lady that came in there with two kids, a story was there. And when I'm just like grateful to just see people, how you've been so helpful. Thank you so much. And when I heard that Apple story, like I said, I can't complain. I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to be around people that understand you. And like she was saying, Beatrice, when I saw her, what's her name? The one I just finished speaking right now. Melanie. As long as she was when she came over. I'm like, hi. So I said, hi. I said, oh, she said, where's Marcus? Marcus sitting there. And I said, oh, meet my daughter. She gave me a hug.
Oh.
Yes. I just remember she gave me a hug because before when I met her, she was just like, it wasn't like, open up. Yeah, but she gave me a hug. I'm like, oh, good to see you. She's like, oh, you too. I'm like, whoa. I was like, okay, that was nice. And I said, see you next time. She said, oh, bye. Able to communicate very well and not shy. I'm like, wow, that was very, very, very interactive. Even for that, like a minute or two that we will just say hello to each other. At least she stayed and she acknowledged me and say hello. But like I said, the best now for me to just come in, relax, not rushing in. Took my time to come in because before I'm only like late. But that was the point. Just coming in earlier and not rushing in. That one. And Michael was eager to come in too. So that was very. So I've been coming. I think I've been coming there for like.
So that means that from now on, I will always ask you to come in early.
Yeah, please. Yeah, make sure so I can be. Yes.
So you won't miss all that fun and excitement.
Yeah, I won't be rushing in, like look for my seat. I'm able to come in there, look for my seat, and able to like guide people too. It makes me look special. Like, oh, how are you? How may I help you? Oh, where's my seat number? Directing the seat number. That was nice. I love that. Yes.
Well, you got a chance to see all the stuff that goes on behind.
Yeah, from the beginning to the end, I didn't miss nothing. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for being a part of that team that was helping to bring people along. I'm so glad for you guys who were there to share. So our social media team, thank you so much. All the work. We had sponsors, we had supporters. I'm so grateful. And you're hearing them say, we exist to support families facing autism and other intellectual disabilities throughout their lifespan. It's not about the diagnosis, it's about life and giving hope. We're a gateway. We're a gateway for that. That's what my goal exists to do. And over the 16 years period, it's been incredible with so many families that have come along our ways. who have encouraged us, who has empowered us. And I come on here and do this empowerment memory with Dr. G. And hopefully, if you heard these stories from these amazing people that joined me inside the Zoom room, it is because they understand and they also embrace. And more than just that, they're also giving out. These are real, wonderful advocates who are advocating for themselves, for their kids, for others, because we're all on a life journey together. So as I started to think about what to share today, I think that put on your endurance cap. Put on your endurance cap, right? So you put on your cap or you put on your hat. And why do I say that? It's because I was doing my devotional the other day, and I came across this particular word. It's from a booklet called Word for You Today. And it was talking about the story of a man in the Bible called Joseph. So I will always put my disclaimer out there. I'm a woman of faith, and I have this hope in the journey that I'm walking in because of my faith in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So I share my faith and as a means to encourage you to see that life is bigger than what you can think or imagine as you journey. So when I wake up in the morning, I get up very early in the morning, mind you, and I go to bed by 10. So if you call me after 10, you're not getting me because my phone goes on silent. And it doesn't matter who you are, because this woman has to get 7 hours of sleep. If you want to know how I do it, it's that. Get some sleep, drink some water, get up, do a lot of walking. Those are the things that I do to keep me youthful. So that this way, at the end of the day, I have all it takes to just keep pushing and keep pressing. So I was reading this devotional and was talking about the story of this man in the Bible called Joseph. So this guy, Joseph, was one out of 12 brothers. And well, his father, for those parents out there who have like children, you have more than one kid and you have some preferential, you know you do. We are not supposed to. But sometimes some of our loved ones have a way of knowing how to really get us, right? Laughing or so on and so forth. So you're not supposed to be partial. But in this particular case, this father was partial to one of his kids, and this kid that was he was partial to was called Joseph. So, and he made Joseph know it, right? So Joseph was so what I call swelling in the head. He was very happy that his dad considered him one of his favorites. So he started bragging about that. Well, his brothers were not impressed. They were not impressed at all. Like, really? You're gonna rub it in that you're dad's favorite? Well, they took it to a little bit of extreme to the point that they wanted to kill him. So they tried to get rid of him. And so what they did was they cornered him. And when they were going to try to do, one of them talked them out of it. So what they did instead is that they sold him into slavery. And he was sent over to Egypt. Well, for over a 13-year period, this man walked through a very difficult scenario. He was accused of rape. He was imprisoned forcibly. He went through all kinds of challenges. So the point of that story really says this, that sometimes we're going to walk through some journeys in life that we did not choose for ourselves. For some of us, when we're raising or providing care or doing some activities and programs, it can be very, 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 very overwhelming. But one thing that was really remarkable about this man, Joseph, is that he had faith in God and he never lost faith. So he had a hope that all of this thing will work together some way or somehow. And there's a happy ending to this story, right? The happy ending was that he had a gift. He had a gift of interpreting dreams. So one day the prime minister, or we will say the president, had a dream that was very disturbing. And he was trying to call everybody to try to interpret this dream, and nobody could remember. So nobody can tell him. But he was eventually called upon, this guy, Joseph, to give the interpretation. Well, he was spot on. And because he was spot on, he was immediately hired. Not was he just hired, he was hired to the second most important position in the country. What is that? What is that saying to us? You and I, when we're going through some things, you just never know how things can turn around completely. You'll never know. So while you're going through it, you're wondering how this is going to end up. You know, like I was talking to, when I was saying to Melanie, it's like, well, at the end of the day, the Thanksgiving this year was not what she hoped for, but maybe next year will be better, right? So the point there is that This man was able to be promoted. But the point of the story that I'm getting to is that when one of the things that made him successful, and this is what I want to glean to you, is that he anticipated that for 7 years there was going to be a lot of great things happening in the country. And after that 7 years, there was going to be years of what we call famine, difficulty. So he was able to anticipate the season where there's plentiful and then the season where there was going to be challenges. And he was able to give advice that, well, if you're in the season of plentiful, collect one-fifth, 20%, save 20% of whatever you're earning in preparation for when things get difficult. And that was exactly what they did. And as a result of saving, when there was a huge famine in the land, his family that didn't even know he was alive ended up coming over, and that's how they were saved. And so I was thinking about this story, and one of the things I wanted to kind of highlight here is this. There's a portion of that. Some of you have heard the song, there's a time and a season for everything, right? And it's actually in the book of Ecclesiastes, and it says, there's a time for everything. There's a season for every activity under the sun or under the heavens. There's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. So the point is, there is always the opposite. And one of the key things to remember is that don't let your bad times eat up your good times. In other words, if you're going through challenges right now, it is only a time and it's only for a season. There will come a time that time will flip and you're going to be in a time of plentiful. I just love the conversation we were just having about Beatrice. Melanie was sharing there was a time that she had very, very, very challenging. Pat, you're feeling the same way. There was a time like that. But now you see these young people who are now coming to gala event. At one point, the parents were saying, I was going without them because I wanted to just have me time. Now we're getting to the place where we're like, I want to bring you along with me so we can be a part of it together. What is that saying? That it's a time for everything. So if you're a parent out there listening to me right now, I don't know what season you're in, but it may be very challenging. Hold on and put on your seatbelt. It's not going to be like that forever. Keep pressing, keep doing, keep hoping, keep trusting that things will work together one way or the other for your loved one. You may also be on the other side. Maybe things are really settling down right now for you. What I want you to do is draw up or draw in the strength, the wisdom, the strategies, the relationship, the resources. What's brought you to this place right now? You know what those skill sets are. I want you to harness that. I want you to write those things down. I want you to highlight the relationships that you have right now that's making the times the good times. Because when you hit a patch, you will have to go back and remember that there's a time for everything, as I'm saying. So my hope and my prayer is that you're listening to me and you're reflecting. What time or what season are you in? Whatever the season may be, there is something to be gleaned out of it. There's something to draw from it. That the season for the plentiful requires you to harness, maintain a spirit of joy and thankfulness. Because if you've come to this place where things are peaceful, that's wonderful. But there may be coming a season where it may be challenging. And we don't look forward to challenging seasons, but we sometimes have to prepare for it, right? So one of the key things is I always encourage us to learn, to grow. We at My Goal believe that having access to resources and support is very important. So when you hit that season where you need the support, right? Very, very, very important. So the theme of today was put on your endurance cap. Part of the endurance cap is understanding the season in which you're in. Understanding that is it a season where there's plentiful or a season where there may be challenges. And then also knowing that you have a whole community that makes part of whichever season you're in. So I hope that this encourages you some way or the other. There's a time for everything under the heavens. And it's really, really, really important that if you're going through a patch right now, it will not last forever. Because on this side of eternity, you may experience some pain, but on the other side of eternity, where I call heaven, there is no more pain, there's no challenges, there's no disabilities. Everybody is special and valued. And so we want to just call for that now and just realize that everything that you have is important and is valuable. So I hope you've been blessed by what I've shared, and hope that your holiday, as we enter into the month of December, I want you to do me a big favor because we'll come back the last Thursday in December. And I want you to reflect on something that in 11 months of the year, you're here. If you're here, you're listening, that means that you're alive. Thank God for that. You know, you have one more month, make the most out of the 1 month. Don't stress about the holidays. How much gift am I going to get? Can I afford this? Can I afford? No, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is having breath and having life, right? So I want you to be reminded about that. And when it gets overwhelming, and by the way, Christmas, we celebrate on the 25th, or you celebrate holidays. But remember, one of the most important things to think about is you can make Christmas any day. You can give gifts any day. So if you put so much stock in it one day and you're not able to, have a gift under a tree and so on and so forth, it will stress you out. And at the end of the day, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is love, family, peace, and joy. That's important. But on that note, if you're in New Jersey, we are having a holiday party. It's coming up very soon, Sunday, December 8th. So for those of you who are local to us, Sunday, December 8th, be on the lookout for, we have to do a change in the location, but it will be in the Central Jersey area. We're trying to get a bigger space. But in any event, so that will be finalized on Saturday. But for now, just know that if you signed up for it, we'll be in contact with you. We are so grateful that we've made it through the year, and so we want to celebrate and have fun with the kids. So it doesn't matter how old they are, how young you are, come out and celebrate with us. So Sunday, December 8th, we'll send send us an email if you're interested at info@mygoalinc.org. And for our families that are on our WhatsApp group, we'll post that information there. If you're on our email listing, you'll get the information as well too. We'll post it on our Facebook pages, so we don't feel like you're going to be left out. But we just want to just say that a happy Thanksgiving weekend. Don't go crazy and break the bank and spending so much money that you don't have by going to Black Fridays. No matter how much sale items there is, I think it's important to just keep it in perspective. I was reading somebody's Facebook and post, and he was saying, if you go to that store and they say that the item is 25% off and you think you got a sale, ask yourself if you really needed it in the first place. If you didn't need it, that was not a sale because you just spent money that you shouldn't have spent. I thought that was brilliant. It made me think twice. I'm like, do I really need this thing or not? Or is that something else that's going to come accumulate in my home, right? So just because something is on sale doesn't mean you need it. So just be mindful about that and only get what you need. But on that note, I want to say thank you guys. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. So awesome to be here. And remember, there's a time for everything under the sun. Put on your endurance hat on and be resilient through it all, whether it's the good, the bad, the ugly. But above all, it will be good times for you. So I want to say thank you guys for joining me in the room. I really appreciate it. Love you all and have a good evening.